it's just incredible because when we think about how he started his career off, the three-point game was nice every once in a while. He might hit it, but it was not a staple. Now he's pulling up at the logo and making it look easy. It's just the fact that while he was injured last year and could not play a whole season, LeBron took the time to get better and to make his team better. That was clearly one of his goals going in. And he has come back in force. And I think there's no question about it. LeBron James has to be considered the MVP. Welcome to the ChadBurn Show, brought to you by M. Chad Baldwin. Welcome to the ChadBurn Show. I am your host, M. ChadBurn, and as always, running the behind the scenes, the wonderful, the creative, the one keeping this show afloat, Julien Renvoise. Say hello to the people, Julien. There he is, folks. Well, I think we got a great show for you today. Going to hit on a lot of topics, mainly going to be looking at the NBA, discussing the game last night because we are recording on Saturday. The game last night, Friday, with the Lakers and the Bucks, two Titans going up against each other, Giannis and LeBron James, where LeBron James stands, especially with the MVP race, and Giannis, which was a big game to decide that. Talk a little March Madness because it's approaching and is the greatest time of the year, and we'll wrap it up there. But yeah, it's just fun here. Right now we have listening in the studio. I got my wife watching, so we're going to try and make this an interesting episode. If we decide to bring her into it, we might. You know, you can yell in the back on anything. Are you having a good time so far, baby?
So far, so good.
Oh, having just excellent. You know, we can throw facts to her. She can also talk about what it's like to be around someone who is obsessed with sports and how annoying that can be in the everyday to-day life. So maybe we can do a segment on that. Also, we also together are very competitive on the cooking shows and game boards. So I think one day we're going to have to do a Catan episode on its own, I think. That would be a big one. To all the Settlers of Catan fans out there, if you're competitive, that's the game to play. But right now, I got to say, the big things, maybe talk to people out there. I don't know. Injuries are abound. I recently busted my elbow trying to go bouldering. New favorite sport, doing that right there. Climbing, obviously without the ropes, really fun. But man, I tweaked my elbow from here up to my neck, working obviously in physical therapy. I gotta say, I don't know, to people out there, people listening, maybe you messaged in on it. How do you deal when you can't actually go do the sport you want to do when faced with injury? Because it drives me insane. Right now, I'm being told I can't go back to bouldering and doing some certain exercise and lifts for at least 3 weeks. The physical therapy I have to go through is going to take 6 to 8 weeks just to get a full recovery, just to fix a nerve that's been pinched running up. And it just drives me nuts because he says I can't do certain things, and it's what I love to do. So I'm trying to find ways around it, trying to find ways to just, isolate the arm away from it, focus on just working out, obviously, with just legs, a lot of lifts, a lot of squats, trying to create no bend in the elbow. But it's tough, and it drives you nuts because especially when I'm trying to do, like, say, basketball or go bouldering, you completely are screwed because you only have one arm to use. But I'm trying right now to just really focus it, not get too stressed. Obviously, we bring up anxiety and mental health in this a lot. And I think the problem is that when you get injuries for someone that's very competitive and someone that's constantly moving and trying to do new sports, when you get injured, your mind instantly goes to why you can't move out there. There's the release you had in order to help keep you calm, deal with some of the anxiety is now out the window. You no longer have that to help and cope. Instead, you have to now face your mind and focus it towards and put your energy towards a new thing, which is healing. And trying to make yourself feel better and try and heal from there, and that is and it's a whole another mindset you have to turn around in order to give yourself that release. So I'm trying to focus on that, a lot of breathing, try and meditate, do more stretches, think about trying yoga. I know that is the millennial hipster fun stuff thing to do, but it could be another avenue to explore. But right now, especially the heavy lifting is off the plate. So We can do that. But it'd be cool to maybe get some extra you guys how you deal with injuries when you're playing sports, how you cope with it, how you're able to kind of get past it and look at other ways to kind of get your energy out there. I just can't even imagine, especially the professional athletes, when they have something like that. We recently saw Steph Curry come back from the injured hand. We've seen LeBron out last season, now playing hard without it. Just imagine being a professional athlete where that's your life and that's your career, and you're told you can't do it. It's nuts. And I think about KD, who's now coming back from the torn Achilles, who is going to be, really trying to work hard to be able to play next year. The Brooklyn Nets, and the fact that he had to be out for, months on end and can't even compete in the league that he has made his career on. It must just be intense on the psyche. I really can't imagine. But that's just a little glimpse into what we're doing right now. But I want to kind of cycle that back out to the NBA because talking KD, Brooklyn Nets moving on from Atkinson, who I was completely shocked by this. The head coach of the Brooklyn Nets has actually gotten a team that is missing both Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, who were supposed to be the 2 points in order to get to a championship. They are in 7th place, competing for a spot in the playoffs. And for whatever reason, the Nets and Atkinson mutually parted ways. Now, I'd love to get some more information on why they went forward with this because right now the Nets seem to be a competitive team. Even without their stars, we saw what happened in Golden State when they lost their stars. Without Klay Thompson, without Steph Curry, Draymond out for half the season and then coming back and playing. And, now they're making trades to move forward. The Golden State Warriors collapsed. And the Nets, without their 2 stars, have been able to actually compete and play some competitive games against tougher teams. They are still in the hunt for the playoffs. They could still make some noise in the first round if they were to get past. I don't think they get past the second round, but they are at least in the hunt. They gave the Sixers a hell of a test last week or 2 weeks ago, to the point that had me screaming my head off because the Sixers I thought should have done better. But it's impressive that with all that, they're going to now rely on a backup interim head coach during this period. And I don't get it. I think if you can try and win right now, you might as well. You don't need to tank. You don't need more pieces in the draft. You don't need to retool at all because next year, once KD and Kyrie are healthy, you have a superstar team. So why are you bothering trying to, just coast your way through the rest of the season? You could actually be competitive. Get some more experience for the young guys on your team. Let Dinwiddie continue to be a leader. Let DeAndre Jordan show some examples of leadership with his age and get everyone else on that team on the same page. So that when you have the superstars return, all you have to do is insert them into already a functional lineup that has playoff-ready experience, that has the idea that they are winners without them. That, I think, is more valuable than anything else you can do or any small piece you can get in the draft or, changes you can make in the front office. This team is complete and needs to go forward with that. The other team that we need to start looking about, so now we have the team that's trying to compete to get in the playoffs. Last night, Lakers versus the Bucks, with the Lakers coming out on top. It was a hell of a game. Now, I'm not going to lie. These West Coast games kill me. Starting at 10:30, I was in bed just because it's been a long week. We went out for drinks. You come back, you're tired in bed at like 12:30. You're trying to watch the game, and the third quarter's just ending. I was exhausted, just passing out. But the game eventually finished with the Lakers coming on top 113-103. And it was spectacular. Giannis finishing off with 32 points, 11 rebounds, a double-double, almost triple-double with 6 assists. Then you have LeBron James with 37 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists. Both of the stars going right at it. Anthony Davis also coming back in with 30 points in the game and 9 rebounds. So absolutely just incredible from both stars on both teams. But LeBron is the big story here. Okay, LeBron is absolutely 100% the most valuable player in the league. Maybe not necessarily, I would say, to his team, but in the league. Because I think if he's not on this Lakers team, they are not as competitive. Yes, they have Kuzma. Yes, they have Anthony Davis. Yes, you have Caruso. You have all these small players. But this is not a team that is going to be a championship run. I think the Bucks still have a pretty solid team without Giannis. Now, don't get me wrong. Giannis is absolutely an MVP to that team, but they could at least probably survive without him on there. But LeBron James is just an absolute freak of nature. Okay, this guy is now having his career high in 3 points per game while hitting one of, I would say, in his upper average of 3-point completion. He's also getting close to he's averaging a double-double this season so far, and his average points this season is almost up there with his career. Now, granted, it's not as high as his early years in Cleveland, where I think he was averaging about 30 points a game, but he's still almost, it was 25 points he's averaging at. He's over 10 points averaging on assists. So not only is he both scoring as effective as he has in the past, adding the three-point game and using it more this season and effectively, he is also distributing the ball at a higher rate than he ever has before. And granted, having Anthony Davis goes a long way because you have easy assists down low, but he's able to both make players better around him, get so much higher in there, and as well dominate when he needs to and get significant points to get their team over the hump to score and win these games. Beating the Bucks, in my opinion, is a defining moment right now of who the better team and who the better superstar is in this league. We assumed when the Bucks first beat the Lakers, like that was a point where like, all right, the Bucks have arrived, they're clearly the number one team, and they still might get more than 72 games this season. They're definitely getting over 70, but we'll see how many they get there if it's 73 or more. But the Lakers are a scary team. Because LeBron is going to win a championship. LeBron is determined to continue to cement his legacy as the greatest player in this league. And the numbers are shocking. At age 35, he is dominating this league. And I'm just so fascinated by the three-pointers still. Because I got to say, because he's averaging more three-pointers per game than he ever had in his career. And yet his field goal percentage is still up, I would say, top 5 in his career. It's just incredible because when we think about how he started his career off, the three-point game was nice every once in a while. He might hit it, but it was not a staple. Now he's pulling up at the logo and making it look easy. It's just the fact that while he was injured last year and could not play a whole season, LeBron took the time to get better and to make his team better. That was clearly one of his goals going in. And he has come back in force. And I think there's no question about it. LeBron James has to be considered the MVP. Harden does not do this. James Harden is nowhere near, in my opinion, the caliber. Harden is a scorer, but Harden is not a distributor. Harden is not going to get rebounds. Harden's not going to play defense. LeBron James plays all facets of this game, both sides of the court at all times, and is playing every game. He's played in every game this season at 35. At the rate he's been playing, and he's playing high minutes, he's getting, I think his average minutes somewhere like 35 minutes. He's playing a lot. And you have someone like Harden who just like, you don't see any defensive effort. And while Giannis, I will say absolutely is in the top 2 in this MVP race, it has to be between Giannis and LeBron. And Giannis did not disappoint last night, came out scorching and playing hard down low. It's just not the same. His effect on the game is not the same with LeBron. With LeBron, there's just all eyes are on him. He creates tough matchups. He is able to kind of distribute the ball because he knows he's going to have someone coming on him quickly and someone's going to be open. His chemistry with Anthony Davis is incredible. And the other thing I'll say is that with LeBron, he can bring the ball up. You have the ball in his hands a lot more than Giannis does in this team. Giannis does not always have, I would say, the ball, bringing the ball up as a point guard, right? You're going to get Giannis the ball down low, or he might have up a three-point line because he's be able to shoot. But right now, LeBron has the complete game. LeBron is absolutely dominating, and LeBron needs to be the MVP this year. He has to. They're probably not going to give it to him because they're going to see Anthony Davis on that team and think he's obviously paired up. But look what Giannis has around him. Middleton is a star and absolutely killing it. You have Bledsoe who's still good. You have, I would say, Brook Lopez is still a dominant big guy down low. DiVincenzo's coming into himself. And Connaughton as well is also great. And I know Lakers have obviously Anthony Davis, Kuzma, I said Caruso before. To be honest, actually, I can't really name Rondo obviously out there. Like, it's not the same. It's more aged or young people coming up. The Bucks have very much people that have solidified themselves as all-stars, as dominant players in this league. And they should be the favorites for the finals. They should favorites to win. But LeBron and this Lakers team is scary. And LeBron is on a mission. And I think he's going to try and finish with double-double. If not, he might end up getting a triple-double. If we're looking at the stats right now, He's averaging 25.6 points this season. He's got the 10 assists. His total rebounds are up at 7.8 in the season. If he brings that up, he's going to have a triple-double with rebounds, assists, and points on the career for the season. It's unheard of. I mean, obviously we've seen average triple-doubles, but for LeBron at this age to do that is insane. It's just, and let's mean all-time high right the assists this season with the average. His points are up there on top. His career average is 27. He's averaging 25. The efficiency from his field goals, his efficient field goal rating is 55%. I just don't know what else to say about it. It's mystifying. It's incredible. Love watching him play, and he's still the GOAT. He is absolutely the GOAT. He's a freak of nature, and he can play every position. That's it. Enough said. He's a champ. That's where we're at right now. A great game last night. If you missed it, absolutely look at the highlights. Incredible start to finish. And Lakers coming out top because I think they're going to be the better team in the end. And I think the Clippers need to worry. And that's why this game today is important to see how the Lakers do against the Clippers. Because if the Lakers can prove that they're getting better as the season go on, they're meshing better, and they can beat a very stacked team like the Clippers, they have to be the favorites coming out of the West. They have to be. Absolutely incredible. Next thing we have to move into, obviously, since it's the month of March, we are close to it. March Madness, the greatest time of the year. Baby, how much do you love March Madness?
I really don't.
She loves it. Listen to that. She loves how I pay only attention to the March Madness through the whole week, watching basketball from the morning to night. It's her favorite time of the year.
Football season.
That's true. Shorter than football season, a few weeks, but you still have to suffer through. But no, it's true. I love it. I'll have the iPad, laptop, and TV, so you have as many games on as possible. Love how NCAA.com has it. If you can sign in a subscription to obviously any of the cable providers, you can have multiple games going on at the same time. It's just Christmas with basketball, and the competition is so good. The upsets are great. God, I can't wait for Selection Sunday so I can start making my bracket and deciding how to do there, trying to win some money in the office. But as obviously Philly sports fan, I am very excited watching the Villanova play. They had a great game today against Georgetown. I think Georgetown, unfortunately, has had such close games, but unfortunately such close losses, and probably will not make the tournament. But as a Big East fan, Villanova is incredible. Obviously the Seton Hall Creighton game is a great one that was played today on Saturday. It's just Big East looks great. I know Kansas is the top team. Obviously Kentucky's still on it. Kentucky was having a tough time against Florida. I actually got to see the score and how that finished up. But Kentucky, you always need to have confidence in because Calipari is designed for this for the tournament. And again, Duke is still there. Kansas, top team. Dayton, a team that's not shooting threes but is dominating down low, is great to see them at the top as well. And San Diego State. I mean, we really finally have so many teams that are competitive and are new teams to the top regime. I cannot wait for this tournament. It's great. I love to hear from you guys. If you can DM me, send an email to chadburn.show@gmail.com. What are your top teams you're looking at into this college tournament? Who do you think will be your Final Four? I haven't decided. I think the Final Four, obviously, I think it's going to probably go traditional with the 1 seeds, but I'd like to see who they're going to, what the Selection Sunday is going to put, obviously, for the 2 seeds, because I think it's going to be a mix where there could be some hot hands where the 2 seeds go deep and make it to the Final Four, but I think the big teams to watch out for clearly is Dayton. I think Creighton looks great. They can play both the 3-game and down low. I think they're going to be a big favorite coming out of the East and could snag 1 or 2 seed and be really dominant later in the season. The other one, obviously, I've got to go with, I think, Duke, I think we have to keep an eye on. I think they could be very competitive. Depends at where they're placed and what teams are going to be in the same bracket with them. But I think they absolutely could go far. But again, and for me, I think they are getting hot late. Gillespie, Bay, they look good. I'm going to be Homer, and I think that the Villanova team could go far, could be a dominant team in this March Madness. But we'll have to see. But I think that's going to be the best one. Most of my knowledge, obviously, resting with the Big East, but I would love to see them go far. I'm also going to love to see UNC not make the tournament because it's looking right now, if they stay under 500, they will not be in the NCAA tournament, and watch Roy Williams just completely just shrivel up and be so sad because for him missing the tournament, that is a big deal. But we will see how they set up. I cannot wait for Selection Sunday. We'll have a lot more on that, a lot more take on the seeds, who we have as our favorites going into it. I think, honestly, I think it's going to end up being Gonzaga, Dayton at the 1 seed, San Diego State, and probably Kansas. If everything stays the same, then the other teams below them. Baylor's been really fun to see them come out of it. I think Michigan State is someone you always need to watch out because Izzo is also always prepared for the tournament and always makes a run. We could see them go as far as Sweet 16, Elite 8. That team is built also for this type of run at the time. Seton Hall, excited about. It's amazing to see that Creighton, Villanova, and Seton Hall are right there in the same area of the standings right now. To see those three teams from the Big East come out would be awesome, and to see them go far, even better. But no, cannot wait. Would love to hear your guys' opinions on who are your top teams going into this, who you think could go far. But we'll obviously have a lot more talking about this as it progresses. But cannot wait. Oh, it's like Christmas time. Just so excited. So you sit down, have all the games on, watch all day. Not very productive at work. I will give you that. I think my company is prepared for this as well. They always have, a lot of the games on in the background, but just expect you to get your work done. But it is tough to get done when you have so much great basketball being played for the whole day, 24/7. The first week, just absolutely the best. So cannot wait for that. We'll see maybe some of the betting odds, who we think are going to be the better teams going further, where they might be worth putting your money down on those or not. But yeah, it'll be a great discussion later down the road. So it's a fun today talking, obviously covering LeBron James and my reasons why I think he's going to be the MVP, talking March Madness. It's been a very basketball heavy episode, giving a little insight into what's going on in my life right now early on. But in general, it's been absolutely so much fun hitting all these topics. We love trying to create fun content for you. This is episode 26, and we're going to keep going at it all the time. If you like what you're listening to and would like to learn more about it, keep up to date of when we're going to be releasing our new episodes, as well as clips from our past ones, you can always follow me on Instagram at ChadBurn Show. And always, you can email me with your questions and anything you'd like us to talk about on the show at chadburn.show@gmail.com. And finally, if you want to keep watching the videos, we try and put the videos of all our episodes online as soon as possible. You can check us out on YouTube and subscribe to get all the alerts of when those will be coming out. We are obviously on iTunes, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube, what you name it. We are on the platform, ready to go. Keep up to date with us, listen in. We love having you guys on and checking out the show. It's been a pleasure for us. We love making good content for you. So as always, keep up to date with us. And until next time, we'll wrap up here. Have a good evening and good night.